up, fuzzball.
From down under.
Do or do not. There is no try.
G'day, mate. How you going? G'day, mate. How you going? This is Adam O'Brien, the Fantha from Down Under, coming to you live from Quinlan's Cantina in the Gold Coast of Australia. And this is episode 8 of the podcast, and I think we're going to be looking at quite a few interesting things in the world of Star Wars. We've got 2 guests tonight. We have a chat with Eric Walker, which we're continuing from the previous episode. And on the last episode, Eric chatted to us a little bit about his foray into music and, of course, how he got involved in the Star Wars films. So we're going to be getting back into that chat and looking at some of his music work. And I really say to all of you out there, if you haven't checked out his albums, which are just fantastic, very atmospheric instrumental albums, and they really are more like a soundtrack than anything else, then you've got to go and check them out. And particularly if you're on a jog, a morning run, or if you're going out and about in the car or something like that, you could jump on the freeway and listen to these great albums like Universal Delight and, of course, Brand New Day. And later in the episode, we catch up with the amazing Blair Hiscock, who's the co-host of My Saga podcast. And he also runs a pop culture review video show on YouTube, and that is, of course, called Pop's Culture. Now, in the world of Star Wars, we have, obviously, Episode 9 currently in production, and we have an amazing cast all out there ready to rock and roll. And of course, one of the things I'm really excited about is that we get Billy D. Williams back in Star Wars. So I wonder, what are you listeners thinking about Episode 9? Is this going to be a film that's going to be wrapping up not only the sequel trilogy story of Rey, Kylo Ren, and of course Finn, or is this going to be a story which really encapsulates the entire trilogy of trilogies, shall we say? You think about it, that's what it is. It really is, because we're looking at a prequel trilogy, an original trilogy, which we all grew up with, of course, or most of us grew up with from the old days. And, of course, the sequel trilogy now with this new generation of amazing Star Wars fans as well. So we're really going to look at it. Is this going to be something that wraps up everything? The Skywalker story, the story of this amazing era of characters. And I think it really will. I think JJ will stick to his word and give us a satisfying conclusion to this amazing story. And we've got Mark Hamill confirmed to be returning, whether that's in a ghost form or vice versa. We're going to find out, I suppose. And I think that's one thing that everyone is really keen on, the idea whether we're going to get Anakin Skywalker back to wrap up the trilogy. We started with the guy. Why don't we finish off with the character as well? I mean, bring us this amazing character back from, the prequel trilogy. And, of course, all the way through. The films have the theme of Vader, sacrifice, and, of course, heroism as well in this amazing film series. I just think it's a fantastic chance to really, again, bring back somebody who isn't given enough credit, which is, of course, Hayden Christensen, back and really give him a chance to get out there and be with his son. I mean, to have them on the screen. Luke and Anakin are the same scene. What do you reckon? Alrighty, let's get into our chat with Eric Walker here live on the Fantha from Down Under.
Prince's influence is mainly his work ethic.
Yeah.
He used to get in the studio, and I had a friend who worked with Prince, and he used to be an engineer for him. And he would go and he would record 2 songs a day, period. Wow. Every day he would go into the studio. So he actually has, when they talk about his vault that nobody's heard, he has thousands and thousands of songs no one's ever heard of. I've heard some of them because my friend used to every once in a while send me a mixtape of stuff that wasn't released. So, which nobody's going to hear,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame
that if they want to release it, that's fine, but yeah.
Oh, he's a hell of a guitar player, he was. Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. He is unbelievable. I don't think people really understand how great he was. He was just tremendous. And because he was into the showmanship and everybody was into that part of Prince. But if you really go back and watch some of his older clips, you could see him just sitting there playing in between him singing and jamming for just, for 5-10 minutes. So,
yeah. I remember years ago as a kid watching Purple Rain and getting inspired that, this is part of, I suppose, the story is that he's grown as a musician. His music's carried itself and carried him with it.
Sure.
And, we've had artists like that before, like I suppose Elvis, others like that who really, their
music was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elvis was great, but Elvis didn't write any of his tracks, so he didn't write. And that I don't think that was because of him. I just think that was because of his management at that time. If Elvis was around later, he probably would have wrote a lot of his own music. It wasn't set up that way back then. And people like, a lot of people don't realize this, but artists like Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 really paved the way for people later to do their own tracks, because it used to be the way the studio system was set up here. A producer would be assigned to you, and the producer would assign certain songwriters to write the songs for you, and that's the way it was. You didn't really have as much say as you do now. And there's good. There's a lot of bad in it, and then there's good in it too. The good. There's not too much good in it, but it will. At that time, the people that have made hits know how to make hit songs and know how to write hit songs. So that part of it was good, but not letting an artist be able to open up and do what they want to do, that's the bad part of it. But the thing that's great about music today is I don't think we could have a conversation like this 20 years ago, because the internet's really, I'm talking to you on a podcast and you're in Australia and I'm in Los Angeles and it's going to be played worldwide on your guys' podcast, and you're going to play some of my music, and I could release my own music as well, and you couldn't do that. The internet and it's really changed. Even though a lot of artists are really upset at a lot of the stealing going on, and we deserve to get paid, and we do, but I don't think that we wouldn't have had this opportunity to get the music out there.
No, there's a lot more positives than there are, I suppose, negatives when it comes to the new technology, how it advances and stuff like that. I look at some of the stuff that you could only do maybe 15 years ago, and that's still with the advent of technology. But
sure,
to see where we are now, you can literally be somebody with a great internet connection, a decent computer, and whether it's a guitar, a keyboard, you can still write something, put it out, and have it released yourself.
Right. Sure.
It's amazing.
And it's just amazing. There's, like I said, the certain, that part of it's all positive. The negative part is the way they try to pay us as artists.
Agreed.
That part I don't like. Like when I look at my statement for Tangier Dream, and I'm now approaching almost 200,000 streams on that album, and I don't think on the stream portion of it, that's the part you don't make any money. Yet I'm excited that people played it 200,000 times. As an artist, that's great to know that my music's being heard and people love it that much that it's played that many times, but I probably only made $200 for 200,000 streams. That's the negative downside. So, I would encourage people to, rather than stream music all the time, download someone's album, even if it's one single. If you like one track on an album, download it, because that 99 cents, if that adds up and I get all those 200,000 people to do one, then I've made a decent living for a couple of years. Not enough to retire, but, it helps me move forward. And helps me create more music because I'll have more time to do that. So I encourage everybody, don't just sign up for Spotify or don't just sign up for, the streaming services or do it on YouTube. Download, take your favorite artist, whether it's me or it's someone else, you don't have to download the whole album. Just take one single that you like and download that. If you like Alien Space, download that song. If you like Brand New Day, download that song. And that will help us move our career forward. And that will keep artists like us interested in continuing the journey. I'm going to do it anyway. But I know that's kind of contradictory to what I just said, to go download a song. But I'm going to do it anyway. But it'd be nice to have a little bit of money to help out as well. So
definitely. Now, one of the things you've been working on recently is a new podcast. And I say to all you Fantha trackers out there, go and check this out. It is called Righteous Riffs. And if you're a musician, you're going to love the chat that Eric and his co-host have with these up-and-coming musicians that come on the show.
Yeah, no, Righteous Riffs is a name that my partner, Stephen Lee Adams, came up with. And then we weren't sure what we were going to do with it. In the beginning, we were thinking about doing a musician network, kind of like Facebook or MySpace for just musicians to connect. And then now it's morphed into us doing this podcast, and where we interview different artists, and we've had quite a few really nice chats already. We had the lead keyboardist and one of the main writers in the group Journey on recently, and he was telling us how he wrote "Don't Stop Believin'" and some of the Faithfully. He wrote "Faithfully." He wrote "Don't Stop Believin'" and a couple other tracks. Faithfully, he wrote totally by himself. Don't Stop Believin', I think, was a venture with Steve Perry. But we're just moving forward. We're just and we interviewed Din, who I think is a good friend of yours as well. What a great musician! So it's great to have a chat and be able to talk musician and musician. And that's so I encourage everybody to go listen to it so that you could hear more of that side of the business. And how songs are created, why we write things, how we get our inspiration. So, Righteous Riffs. So
definitely. And you're also working on something really exciting, especially if you're into story length music. Now, the idea of a novel set to music as an atmospheric soundtrack has me interested.
Yes. Well, that's a project right now. It's I touched on that a little bit in my first album, Tangier Dream, where you have 3 songs that have a kind of that element. You have one of them, which is the sketch, the Timekeepers thing, and that's just my cousin and my acting out a scene in the Timekeepers universe, and then it goes into the song Alien Space, and then Sunrise on WASP 17B. And the inspiration on that was the fact that in outer space, during certain times you don't need propulsion. There's certain parts of space that will carry you forward, and that's the concept of the song. And then Sunrise on WASP 17B. WASP 17B is actually a planet. If you look it up, it's and that's where the inspiration came. It's a planet that actually rotates in the opposite direction of its sun, so everything kind of moves backwards. So that's where so if you go on my YouTube page, there's a couple music videos for that in that series. So you guys get to enjoy it and see a little bit about what we're talking about writing. And then, so here in the future, in the next year, I ain't going to say 2. I'm going to try to get it out in the next year and a half, but be looking out for the Timekeepers novel. And I'm hoping it could be more than just one novel. We're going to start with one novel and one musical CD and see where that takes us. But I do have other stories in my head to carry this on for a long, novel after novel after novel.
Brilliant.
So.
It's absolutely brilliant. And again, it's those 3 songs in particular that whether it's driving or it'd probably be another thing if you're, I suppose, doing a morning jog or something like that. They really just transport you to a completely other place. They really do.
That was the goal. So everybody check it out on my Tangier Dream album, Alien Space and Sunrise on WASP 17B. And you could see the music videos as well on my YouTube page. So
Awesome. So how, we're talking about, obviously, we being inspired and stuff like that. How can people get inspired as whether they're getting into music? What do you think is the things out there in the world that can get them in there?
To get them inspired to get started.
I'll probably get started.
Well, get started. I mean, the first thing you got to do is you got to, get a software. Well, if you don't have access to a piano, you could go to a local music store and you could get what they call a controller, which is it just has the keyboard part of it, but it doesn't have brains and stuff. Mm-hmm. And that will connect directly into your computer. And then you get, I know if you guys out there have a Macintosh or iMac, you could start with GarageBand. That's a great tool to start with because it's simple. And then if you want to get more into it and you're a little bit more advanced, you could start with Logic Pro 10. My last album, I did a lot of it on Logic Pro 10 because Logic Pro 10 comes with a lot of really good software synthesizers built in it. Like it has Alchemy, which is a very powerful synth. And I went out and purchased a boatload of other software since, like I have the Mini Moog on it, and I have the Jupiter 8, and I have I could go on and on and on. I'm drawing a blank right now because I'm in the middle of an interview. But it's got I have literally like over 30,000 sounds I could choose from to create my own thing. So if you have a computer. And even if you don't have a Macintosh, I believe even with a PC, you could probably there's a couple software out there you could get as well. But the main important thing is just start doing it. Yeah. Turn on the recording, start playing the piano, whatever it's, whatever. I don't know if people could hear it, but just start playing something, start with some chords, whatever, and if you have a keyboard, and you have sounds, start playing with sounds. To start playing on the keyboard. Whatever. Start hitting notes, start hitting chords, get a piano, I'm self-taught. I can't sit there and read, music, but you could still get started. Some of these keyboards, like I have the Yamaha Montage 8, it's got great, arpeggiators in it. It's got all these sequencers, and you get to start playing and to play drums and everything else, like.
Oh, nice.
Get notes, just start playing, but do it. Like the old Nike saying, just do it.
You won't know until you try. Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. And I think that's the thing is people that are wondering about it, just pick up whatever instrument it is, whatever you want to do, and just do it. At the end of the day, that's the inspiration.
You're going to find out if you have any music ability at all. I'm not saying everybody has music ability, but I believe everybody has some sort of music ability. And the more it's just like with anything in life, the more you practice, the better you become. Like, I sound terrible just now because I'm nervous as hell. I'm doing this live, but the bottom line is just do it. And if you're doing it when you're recording, the mistakes I just made, you're not going to hear on my CD because I'm going to erase them. So.
So obviously, too, for you Fantha trackers that are in the UK, you will have a chance to see Eric very, very soon at some conventions. Tell the folks today where you may be heading.
Yeah, I am going to be in Europe at the end of September. I'm going to be in Germany and Munich. Well, you mentioned the UK, so let's talk about that. I'm going to be at Norcon in the UK, which is in the town of Norwich. And at that convention is, I believe it's the last weekend of September. Let me check the calendar real quick. Very unprofessional, Eric. But I'm going to be at that convention. It's September 29th and 30th. And if you want to look it up online, it's called Norcon. And I'm going to be there that weekend, signing autographs, meeting with all the folks out there in the UK and any of the, like he mentioned, any of the Fantha Tracks listeners, come on out and meet me. Who knows? Maybe we could share a pint together. And the weekend before that, for anybody that's in like the Europe area or Germany, I'm going to be in Nuremberg, Germany. I'm going to be at Norse ForceCon. And I'm very excited about coming out and meeting the fans. I don't do it that often. I haven't been to Europe in 15 years. So everybody come out and see me. Who knows? It might be 10 or 15 years before I come back. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully I can start doing some concerts and start playing locally because I know some of my tracks did very well in the UK. So,
and likewise out here in Australia, you people out there that want to see Eric in the Australian convention circuit, whether it's Oz Comic Con or do you want to see him at Supernova Pop Culture Expo, then put the word out and let's get the people involved knowing that we can see this beautiful music played out here in Australia for the Australian audiences.
I'd love to come. I'd love to come and do some concerts, and I have some really great ideas with some great, lasers and lights and stuff like that. I mean, if we could put together a major thing, that'd be awesome. But even if it's just me on the piano or coming with a keyboard, a simple computer setup, I could play a couple tracks. It'd be wonderful.
Be fantastic. And where can the folks find your music and find Righteous Riffs as well?
To look up Eric Walker, you could go to ericwalkermusic.com, and there's various links to different you could purchase my CDs if you're old school and want a physical CD, and if you do purchase a CD, please make when in the comments section, if you want me to open it up and sign it, please make a note, then I'll open up the CD because they come shrink wrapped already. And unless I have your permission, I'm not going to open up a new item. So, but if you want me to open it up, I'll open it up and sign it for you. I'm also available on all the music outlets. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Apple Music. I'm on Amazon. I'm on Google Play. I'm every outlet you could stream. I'm on, including YouTube. And that's about it. Righteous Riffs. Can't forget about that. You could check out Righteous Riffs by going to righteousriffs.com. And we're also available on all the podcasting sources, whether it's iTunes, YouTube. We're on all the outlets there as well. So please check out Righteous Riffs. We're interviewing major musicians. We're talking about legends here of the music business. So check that out. And I have my great partner, Stephen Lee Adams, to thank, my brother in Christ, to thank him for that. And also, we didn't talk about it too much, but I'm working on a documentary series called Teach the World to Sing. And you can go ahead and check that out at teachtheworldtosing.net. And that's with my longtime friend and brother now, Buddy Mix. So check that out. We're working on that. It's going to be a great show because we're going to go and interview teachers from all over the world and look at the different styles of how they teach people how to sing. Not just that, but we're going to get into music culture too. Like for instance, out there in Australia, you guys got one of the most well-known instruments. The didgeridoo? Is that what it's called?
Didgeridoo. Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. So so when we go to do the Australian version, we're going to have to have someone play the didgeridoo. So hopefully, who knows? I might be in your neck of the woods if this show takes off. The show's actually a production company's looking at it right now. So if it takes off, we'll know here in the next few months, and I might see you. You never know. You might be in your neck of the woods there. So everybody, pray for that to happen. That would be awesome.
That'd be fantastic. And folks, I mean, that's the kind of thing that we love to hear. How music's not only inspired, but how it's continually taught and explored through new beginners and also, that communication. Next generation of music.
Yes, absolutely. I'm learning more. Every day I try to learn. I learned about this instrument that originated in Armenia not too long ago. It's called the tuduk, and it's kind of like a flute. It looks like a flute. If anybody wants to look that up, but that's like one of the oldest flutes. It goes back thousands of years. And I learned about it through a friend of mine who's Armenian, but also Yanni, the musician Yanni, uses that a lot in a lot of his pieces. So.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Well, folks, I want to thank Eric for being on the show today and for sharing a bit of his musical love. And, of course, go and check out all of his work on the outlet. Check out Righteous Riffs and, of course, spread the love of music.
Welcome to My Saga, a Star Wars fan podcast. Each week we'll bring you stories of how Star Wars impacted so many fans from around the globe, along with Star Wars news, reviews and discussions.
We would be honored if you would join us.
So grab a scarf soda, deploy the garrison, put your feet up and join us here today at the My Saga podcast.
And next up here on the show, we have Blair Hiscock joining us for another chat about what he's been up to with My Saga and, of course, Pops Culture. Live here on Fantha from Down Under. An escape. Films are an escape. Stories that we read are an escape. Is it an escape from around? I mean, sure, they can mimic what's in the world around us, and they can present things that are in the world. That's great, and it does happen in those stories. And yes, more power to that. But I think we have to also think about the fact that this is entertainment. It's an escape to release from your normal life.
Exactly, and the whole thing was, Lucas, when he brought up with this, and he said many a time there were no life lessons for young people at the time, in movies and things like that. And Star Wars is a modern mythology. It's told with film, but it's still mythology, and it's life lessons and good things for living that young people need to get taught, and that people forget that. It's fun. Star Wars should be fun, and it's got to be something that you can take on board and use, and you have, many times, I know growing up, you're like some of the teachings that Yoda gave Luke and things like that, but it's all good stuff for life, and people forget that. And, I get so annoyed with, it's got to be darker, and I want to see the Sith kicking butt, and, all this sort of thing. Oh, look, there's places for all that sort of stuff. And no Star Wars movie is perfect. Every Star Wars movie has got dumb stuff in it. Where people, I can remember the original Return of the Jedi, and my gosh, if there was social media around when Return of the Jedi came out, we'd be having these same conversations like we're having about The Last Jedi. Everybody would have just gone off. Yeah,
That's right.
It's just the world that we're living in now, and people are a lot more forgivable then. Be like, my goodness, I couldn't think of anything else. A second Death Star? You're kidding? Teddy bears? It
a big slug?
Crazy. A big slug,
Oh, hang on. I know where that comes from.
Yeah.
That comes from this one. God, Emperor of June.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
A giant slug.
So, it's just a different time, obviously, like us talking to each other like this, 5 years ago was science fiction, right?
Yeah.
So technology just moves so quickly, and because people can just outpour and get the thoughts out there immediately. Everybody just bangs on about stuff, and whereas previously, even when the prequels came out, you were just in your own little world. You had like about maybe 10 or 20 mates that you shared and talked about in the same little circles. Gee, the Phantom Menace wasn't real good, was it? Blah, blah, blah. But that's as far as it went.
Yeah.
And you had these discussions and stuff, and now it's like, bang, you put it out there and you get 500 people all wanting to tell you what they thought about it, and it just gets a little bit much sometimes. So I can understand, I'd really hate to be in the maelstrom of Star Wars, to be in the middle of this and in a creative point of view, because you put one foot wrong, you're just going to be victimized and vilified for the rest of your life, and that's what it seems happening. And everybody just needs to take a chill pill and have a big wake-up call, with things. Because like you said, these are just movies. It's entertainment. It's 2 hours in the dark. Talk about it, enjoy it. Back to your lives, citizens.
That's right.
At the end of it.
Yeah, folks, I can tell you, Star Wars might just be a movie, but Mad Max is real life.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, Mad Max is real life, exactly. Yeah. It's going for a drive out past Toowoomba sometimes, mate. It's real life.
That's right. Jump in the car. We're going out to Belconnen. Let's go. Now, on a more serious note as well, is one of the things I've been seeing. Now, there's a certain actor that played Jar Jar Binks back in the time of the prequels. Now, of course, we're talking about Ahmed Best, who I think did an amazing job and has a real comic flair with not just the character, the portrayal that he did in the films, but he was also in the Clone Wars as well. We're talking about, a guy who put up with a lot of crap from lot of, let's just say, nasty fans. Very nasty. And he almost committed suicide.
True. I mean, and there again, this is when the internet was in its infancy, really. I'd feel sorry for him today, dealing with the same sort of stuff. I mean, it was enough that he had to deal with. And look, at the end of the day, he's an actor.
That's right.
He got paid to do a job. He did the best job that he possibly did. And like you said, he did a great job.
Did great.
He did a fantastic job.
I love the character.
It's groundbreaking. Jar Jar Binks is groundbreaking. Was a groundbreaking character, and he did the job. And he made the character the best at how he was told to do it as well. You ruined my childhood, sort of rubbish that came out. The thing is, though, I think it's funny because a lot of the kids who grew up with the prequels. I mean, sure, us. Older fans who grew up with the original trilogy, we were the ones when we were in our late 20s and 30s who were, ragging on the prequels when they came out. But the kids of the grown-ups, kids of today in their 20s and 30s, they're the ones who grew up with the prequels. Right? So they were kids when the prequels came out, so they loved it. They loved all that stuff, and like Jar Jar Binks is made for children. He's a children's character, and I get why he's in there. I got no problem with Jar Jar. He's the clumsy guy who makes good. And that in the first film, and that's great, and that's a great life lesson for kids as well. I mean, so many kids feel, in their early teens and stuff, feel uncomfortable and gangly and don't know what they're doing and stuff like that. But hey, it's going to be okay. You're going to find your voice at some stage. That's why Jar Jar's in there.
That's right.
And yes, it was people of my sort of era and things who were ragging on that there, but. Like I was saying, now the kids have grown up now who are prequels. So the prequels seem to be getting more of a pass these days because of the kids now. Now the kids who are prequelists are ragging on the new films.
That's true.
It's just funny how things go, and this way it's going to keep going. It's just going to keep going like that. So. I just take each one of these movies as just for pure entertainment value. Sure, there are things there's things I don't like in all of the Star Wars films, right? Even The Empire Strikes Back, there's a couple of things in there I'm not real keen on. But it's just what it is. It's entertainment, and that's just what we need to just keep that in mind and just keep doing, thinking those every time we see a film. Just enjoy these things for what they are. Because, hey, a decade ago, we won't get any more Star Wars films.
That's right. We weren't getting any at all.
Revenge of the Sith was it, and so just be thankful that we're getting these things at all.
That's right. And Ahmed Best himself is actually putting together a documentary on his, his portrayal of the role, his life itself, and just work that he's done as well, which I can't wait to see. Again, we're seeing, a bird's eye view of what obviously he's had to put up with, but what he brought his skill, talent, profession to use in this amazing character. So check it out, folks, when it comes out. It's going to be really, really cool. But if you do want to see a prequel reunion, or you want to see prequel period, go and check out Christopher Robin, because guess what? You get Hondo Anoka and, oh, hello there, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, yes. Yes, I love that little thing that's going around with Pooh popping up with the lightsabers like Grievous. Kenobi. I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to. My daughter's a huge Disney fan, and I'm sure we'll be going to see Christopher Robin. I mean, I'm a fan of Winnie the Pooh myself, and I'm really looking forward to seeing, because it just looks really good.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to that one.
And of course, if you want to see Padme Amidala with the one, the only Poe Dameron, what movie would you be seeing?
Yes. What was it called? No, not Extinction. That's one I watched the other day. And that's it. I got them mixed up. Yeah, Annihilation. Yes, that was out there.
That's pretty bizarre.
That was great.
Yeah.
It was great though. I really enjoyed it. I thought her performance was fantastic, and but there's just some bent stuff in there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
kept me up for a couple of days. But it is really worth a watch though. So yeah, I thoroughly recommend.
It's out there with
as well. I mentioned.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've seen that. What did you think of that?
I really liked it. I really liked it. I sat down, I saw it was up there, and I sat down and started watching it. About half an hour in there, I thought, yeah. And then, I'm not going to say anything or give anything away, but it's just keep watching it, because it just becomes something else. And after the film, and I've had to go back and rewatch it a second time after seeing it the first time. And obviously, to go back and pick up on things. And I just didn't see where it was going, and I just didn't see it coming. So yeah, when a show can do it's a very rare thing for that to happen these days. And I'm not saying it's a fantastic, awesome, great, amazing movie. It's got its problems, but it was something that it's definitely well worth your time to check out.
Awesome. Now you guys have just released a new episode of My Saga. Tell the folks here at Fantha Tracks what they can find on the episode.
Okay, well, we did basically we talked about episode 9 this week, and talked about our hopes for and aspirations for the film. Adam had a list of 10 things that he would like to see, and so we discussed those, and mainly that was the whole show, because I thought, oh, geez, it's going to fill the show, but yeah, we went for overtime as more than we usually did, because we got very vocal about things. So if you want to check that out, that's our latest episode. And some of the things we brought up, and some other ideas and concepts that we talked about I hadn't even considered before. So I think it's all happening for episode 9.
Awesome. I hear you guys had as number 8 and number 9 Michael Caine as a first order officer.
Oh yeah, I could see that. Yeah. You got to do the voice. I can't do the voice. Come on. Byron ready. I can't do it.
There's your head. 8 torpedoes ready to fire.
Well done. Yeah, love it.
And did you have Sean Connery as number 9? I hear. Yes.
I can do Sean a little bit. Not so much Michael, but I can do Sean.
Oh my goodness! So long as I don't put Tom Hanks in there, I'll be happy.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks in Star Wars. Can you imagine? He would just set right off. Like it would. I mean, great actor and everything, but run, Forrest, run! Laser beams.
You'd think you'd have to have a rubber head, wouldn't you? You'd have to have some sort of a Hidden Disguise. I don't know whether that's one Black Series figure I'd be picking up. So
Me neither. So where can the folks find My Saga and of course Pop's Culture?
Okay, well, My Saga is on. What are we on again?
Omni FM?
Oh, gosh. Anyway, Pop's Culture's on YouTube, so if you want to go and check out some of my videos, I'm on YouTube. I haven't done one for a couple of months, but I've just been really busy with stuff, but that'll be firing up again soon. And Omni, that's where you can find My Saga. So we have, look at Omni, where all our episodes are there, type in My Saga, and they'll come all up. If you get on Facebook and join our My Saga page, you'll automatically get the links to the episodes every one that we do. So as a little plug, everybody come and join our page.
G'day mate, how you going? This is Adam O'Brien, the Fantha from Down Under. And like George Lucas, there's another George out there. That is George Miller, and he created an amazing franchise by the name of Mad Max. On Fandom Podcast Network's Couch Potato Theatre, in a 4-part episode series, I host Maximum Couch Potato, looking at all of the films in the franchise, along with Kevin the Raider Nerd Reitzel and Kyle Wagner. We look at each of these films. We've done 1979's Mad Max. We've also done The Road Warrior, or known out here in Australia as Mad Max 2. But soon, airing on the show, we have our look at Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, the huge international epic which teamed Mel Gibson and Tina Turner together and had an amazing soundtrack. So go and check it out, our look at Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome on Fandom Podcast Network. Skywalking through Neverland.
Hey everyone, are you looking for a fun-filled and family-friendly Star Wars and Disney podcast? If you answered yes, then join me and my sweetie wife on Skywalking Through Neverland.
You can hear us every week. We are Skywalking Through Neverland wherever podcasts are played.
We look forward to having you in our Skywalker family.
And the show comes to a close for this episode of The Fantha from Down Under. And we'll catch you next Saturday with more Star Wars news, rumours, and goodness knows what else, all here from Quinlan's Cantina in the Gold Coast of Australia. That's right, I'm Adam O'Brien, and we'll catch you next week on The Fantha from Down Under. May the Force be with you.